Alright, so we're going to move right along. Theoreticus Heresy, episode 27. Now, a lot of things have happened in the previous few episodes that, well, what can you do? Conrad Curse is a prisoner of Rogel Dorn. Vulcan has joined with the traitors. Sanguinius is more terrifying than Fulgrim was. Oh, no. Because Fulgrim can't fly up in the air with you, and really, Sanguinius is... no. I kind of doubted you guys earlier when you guys were talking about how, like, Sanguinius would be, have Slanesh as his primary god. Whatever. But now that I hear it, it's just disturbing.
Within the Istvan system, the Traitor Legion sent patrols out on a daily basis as they awaited the return of the Space Wars to attack Terra en masse. There were still pockets of resistance on the world, fighting a guerrilla war in the Emperor's name. Many of these patrols would return vastly under strength, as the Loyalists would take their bloody toll on them. Those Loyalists who were captured were given a choice: join or die. Most of them chose the latter. Gilliman received word from the stewards of Ultramar. His empire was being assaulted by the forces of the Word-Bearers and World Eaters. Gilliman requested that Rogel Dorn allow him to return to Ultramar with his legion and wipe out the Loyalists. Rogel Dorn refused. The War Master stated that taking Terra was more important right
Gilliman's
now,
going to tell him to fuck off.
and to double back towards the eastern fringes would only allow the Loyalists more time to prepare for the final conflict.
Gilliman's going to tell him to go to hell.
Dorn received a transmission from the Phalanx. The White Scar's fleet was fast approaching. Rogel Dorn was surprised and ordered the fleet to prepare for battle. The White Scar's fleet was battered and scarred from their escape of their homeworld, and Jagatai Khan opened a transmission to the Phalanx. When he spoke, he sounded like a broken man, his heart heavy and full of woe and regret. The Emperor, their father, had betrayed him and cast him aside like some broken and useless object. He humbly requested for the White Scars to join with Rogel Dorn's forces. Upon the flame wrought, Conrad Kurz slowly awoke to find himself naked and in chains, strapped to an anvil embossed with a dragon, the sigil of the Salamander's Legion. Vulcan stood over his pallid brother and looked at him sadly. Conrad demanded to be let go, or if he was going to be killed, to just get it over with. Vulcan shook his head. He had been given orders by the War Master: interrogate and convert the Night Haunter to their cause, by any means necessary, much to Vulcan's sorrow.
This is not Vulcan!
Vulcan picked up a white-hot brand.
You can't... Okay, I have a distinct problem with this. This is the reason he just turned. Because torture isn't something that he'd agree with. That's the reason he turned in the first place, and now he's actually going to engage in it.
Iron and brought it to Kurz's chest. The Lord of Night could feel the intense heat emanating from the metal and began to thrash around. Not out of fear, but out of anger. Vulcan kindly asked his brother not to make him go through with such a cruel act. He had no desire to do such things, especially not to a brother, but the War Master had ordered him to do so. Kurz spat into Vulcan's face and snarled, and Vulcan sighed with sorrow and disappointment, and pressed the searing metal into his brother's pale flesh, causing him to howl in pain as his skin bubbled and blistered the room being filled with a stench of burning meat. "Please," Vulcan begged Kurz, "join the War Master's side and end this unnecessary suffering." After several long, excruciating hours, Kurz went limp and panted heavily from exertion. He asked Vulcan to look into his heart and just kill him, put him out of his misery, and end his suffering. Vulcan pondered for a moment before agreeing. He asked his brother if he had any last requests, and Comrade Kurz asked to be unbound and killed with a swift blow to the head, let him die as a warrior on his feet. Either through naivete or compassion, Vulcan agreed and unfastened the heavy chains that bound the Lord of Night. As soon as they were removed, Kurz lashed out with an intense psychic blast, hurling his giant foot brother back several feet into a weapons rack and shattering all glass and lights within several meters from the epicenter of the blast. Kurz disappeared into the shadows and escaped into the bowels of the ship, laughing like a maniac all the while. Over the course of the next few days, as the salamanders desperately tried to hunt down Comrade Kurz, they would discover the butchered and mutilated corpses of their kinsmen throughout the ship. Vulcan felt regret for his folly, but at the same time, part of his soul felt relieved, as if feeling he deserved punishment for his actions and his betrayal. When Vulcan finally retired to his chambers, he found the walls smeared in blood, with the words Ave Dominus Nox painted above the bed.
Alright, so yeah, I had a problem with that last episode. Like, the reason he just turned on the Emperor is the very thing he's doing now himself. I don't get that. Episode 28, this thing has high marks and low marks for me right now. Moving in, and on, and over.
The shattered legions who escaped the massacre of Istvan V.
Every once in a while you are recording and somebody needs you. In particular the Hospitaller, because she's making really tiny chickens, Cornish game hens. Never had them before. Gonna enjoy them. Any case, we're gonna get right back into episode 28. Here we go.
Raced towards Terra as fast as they could. Not only had the forces of the arch-traitor Rogel Dorn pushed back the Loyalist forces, but he had managed to sway the Dark Angels, the Raven Guard, and the Salamanders to his own cause. Even worse, the Primarch Fulgrim had given his life in the battle against his treacherous kin, and the Primarch Conrad Kurz had been reported missing. The Loyalists needed to regroup on Terra itself, the most heavily fortified world within the galaxy, now even more so thanks to the efforts of the Iron Warriors Legion. Upon Terra's holy soil, under the orders of Malkador the Sigillite, Perturabo, the Primarch of the Iron Warriors Legion, sent out a rallying call to the remaining Loyalist legions. Return to Terra, reinforce the defences, serve the Emperor, destroy the traitors. During their holy crusade of cleansing the tainted worlds of the Ultramar Empire, the Word-Bearers and World-Eaters received word of this message. Angron revelled in the chance for more fighting, clashing his immense chain axes together in a show of celebration at the fort on the bridge of his ship, the Conqueror. Lorgar, from his ship, the Divinitas Lex, bade for his brother to take his men and make for Terra as fast as possible. The Word-Bearers would soon follow, after cleansing the last of these tainted worlds within the current system. Angron sheathed his blades, and for the first time, gave his smaller brother a salute of respect. He told Lorgar to hurry up, so he wouldn't miss the battle entirely. The World Eater's fleet then made the warp jump and headed for Terra. Upon the Iron Hand's flagship, the Fist of Iron, Ferrus Manus was distraught. The trauma of murdering his most beloved friend and
Nurgle's
brother
gonna get him.
had hit him hard after the battle, and the Primarch had locked himself deep within his chambers. He stood over the decontamination basin and spent hours upon hours scrubbing his arms with stiff bristled brushes and wire wool, desperate to wash the blood of his brother off of him. His absence from the rest of his legion was a cause of concern for First Captain Gabriel Santar. Santar knocked on the chamber door, requesting if he could enter. All he could hear was the sound of scalding hot water gushing from the faucets, and the rough, frenzied scrubbing and screeching of metal scratching against metal, along with the Primarch's own distressed mumbling. Santar activated the override on the door's control panel and quickly entered, concerned for his Primarch. He gazed upon the naked form of Ferrus Manus, whose body had been subjected to frenzied scrubbing and cleansing, leaving his flesh with several cuts and lacerations, particularly around his elbow, where the metal of his forearms met the flesh. The cuts and abrasions were in a pitiful state, and most of them looked, judging by the discoloration and stench, as if they were becoming infected.
Yeah, some of you guys were telling me that this was going to be the case, that Ferrus Manus would be a prime candidate for Nurgle, and I didn't think too much of it until you guys started making your points, and they were good points. In any case, while I can't see Ferrus beating Fulgrim, I can see him having this much mental trauma from actually killing him. And I can see where this would lead as far as this would go. As far as him falling to Nurgle. At the mental distress of having to kill his favorite brother. In any case, I'm going to continue watching these. I'm going to get everything situated for today. I might have another one today. I don't know. In any case, I'll catch you guys next time.